Hello, everybody. This is Paul Puna. So I'm going to show you specifically today two important things. One, for Video Express version 3, we've added some workflows which I want to share with you. How do you create from an idea or a prompt an entire sequence? Okay. So I'll walk you through that. There's a special link I'll send you to. You can for free use all these workflows that I have for you. And then the second part of this training will be about actually some new features we've added to Video Express, like our first frame, last frame, and some other cool things we've added in as well, where you can actually walk through that as well. Now, one of the biggest questions that comes when it comes to AI video creation and all that kind of good stuff is, hey, I don't have the creativity to do things. I don't know how to exactly get the output that I want. And so because of that, a lot of times people struggle to get the exact outcome that they desire. So I built this entire system for you that I will share with you. And of course, my goal here out of this will be for you to simplify your workflow and use the power of Video Express, because with Video Express, you're not paying any credits, you're not paying any monthly fees, you're not paying any kind of mumbo jumbo stuff that you would have to do with other platforms out there. So the experimentation is actually your benefit here, because you can experiment until you get the output without worrying about paying $20 for a 10-second clip at the end once you do 5 or 6 revisions that you have to do with other platforms. So we'll use the power of Video Express, the one-time payment, and the ability to create actually as many of these images, videos, and stuff that you want. And then we'll also use the power of automation, right? That we can generate and then bring the whole workflow together. So that will be the two components. All right. So first of all, what we're going to be talking about is 4 AI assistants that I've built for you. In reality, there are 2, but I built them into ChatGPT GPTs, and I also build them as Google Gemini gems, as they're called, which are automated systems where you can just put an idea and it'll do the whole stuff, whole workflow that I'll be sharing with you right now. And it's up to you. If you like Google, use Google. If you like OpenAI, use OpenAI. I will not give you Anthropic Claude because it's a waste of time. They're not good with this sharing mechanism where I can share. And also they started throttling people. So let's be transparent. As of last week, they want you to pay the $200 a month account, and then you can't connect it with other applications and all that. Being honest, being transparent. Right now, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, both of those, you have free accounts. You have also some small paid accounts. Depending on what you use, you can use these workflows for both of them. All right. Now, again, I'm going to make this video in a step-by-step process. It'll be slow-paced. So, hey, for those of you who want exciting YouTube videos where somebody jumps in with like all these flashy cuts and stuff, this is not for you, okay? My goal is to go step-by-step, assuming you've never used a workflow in your life before and never created an entire AI video before. I'll walk you through step by step. There's value in that, because if you learn to do it once, it'll serve you for the rest of your life, right? And make you better and better with this stuff. So first of all, let's talk about what are we trying to create here. There's going to be 2 types of videos that you're going to be able to create, and I'm going to walk you through both of them. Okay. One being, if you go in and once you go into the page here, which I have for you specifically, it's called videoexpress.ai/workflow. All right. So make sure that you bookmark this page. We're going to be adding more of these workflows for you for free. I'm going to charge you like these other course creators and these content creators. It's going to be for free, because our goal is for you to actually get Video Express and our tools, which is more expensive, more difficult for us to build. So when you go into that page, videoexpress.ai/workflow, you're going to land on a page that looks something like this, right? You see in my screen right now. You're going to have 3D animated, realistic, and then there's going to be a structure where I'll teach you to do, because they will remove the blank page problem that you might be having, right? Where you don't stare at a blank screen and then you don't know what to do. So the idea will be type in idea, we'll get the structure, we'll generate the frames to utilize into Video Express, and then we will actually generate the entire video within the Video Express ecosystem, okay? And again, we're going to utilize the power of Video Express, the one-time payment, no credits, no monthly fees aspect of it. All right. So this is the goal. Okay. So now let's go into videoexpress.ai/workflow, the page, right? The page we are talking about here. All right. So again, if at any point you have any questions and stuff, I will get to those questions as well as we go along. All right. Is that cool? All right. So first things first, you're going to land on a page that looks something like this. Okay. The videoexpress.ai/workflow stuff. And then basically you're going to see this page, and it's going to have some of these examples that you see here. And again, you see, I'm going to be adding more of them here, obviously, for you. So we have idea to 3D, animated shorts, custom video express GPT. GPT means for Chat GPT, okay? And then another one is Google Gemini custom video express gem. Gem is same like Chat GPT, GPTs, but it's from Google. They call it a gem. And we have it for 3D animated stuff. And then we have it also for the realistic talking video short film stuff. Okay. And then this is the Google Gemini, and then this GPT for both. You'll see two links here. One is basically, actually, you can't, it's blocking you that link, right? So let me actually share my screen this way so you guys and gals can see it much better. All right. I'll make myself a little bit tinier, Shelby. All right. So I'll zoom this in a little bit so you guys and gals can see it. All right. So yeah, there you go. So now we see that, right? So if I highlight it, you'll see in the chat right here, start chat, and then open gem and copy link. Okay. So when you click on the start chat, it will automatically go into the Chat GPT screen. So you can actually chat with it and create the image prompts, the video prompts, and all that to then bring it back into VideoExpress. Okay. Same thing with Google Gemini. Up to you. Some of you folks will like ChatGPT, some will like Gemini. It's up to you. You can use whatever you want. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay. So that's the idea. So if you go into that link, you'll be in the page. We'll walk you through step by step. So now let's talk about 3D first. We'll go, and then we'll talk about the realistic second. Okay. So first of all, what do we talk about the 3D? There's going to be two types of 3D videos always, right? One is going to be like talking style. One will be more narration style. I want to show you the video here where an example video, and then how we can create that style of video. Again, the goal will be that you can go beyond this with time, but the idea is that how do we use VideoExpress to get this level output, right? That is the ultimate goal that we want to achieve here. So let's do that right now. And then, so pay attention to this, okay? So this is the first video. I'm going to show you 3D. Then we're going to go to realistic, and I'll show you the example video and how do we go about creating it using this GPT, okay? Or Gemini Gem. All right, so let me play this so you can see, and then let's work on recreating this exact output, okay?
The day you come home.
So let's discuss a couple of things about this video, okay? First, let me explain the concept behind it, because video is just not about AI alone, right? There's some emotion to it, there's some storytelling to it, and those are the things that I've systemized for you so you can go in and utilize it and then bring it into Video Express, right? So that's the basic idea. So now let's walk you through this step by step. So in the video, let me actually share the video here one more time. I'll mute it, so then I'll walk you through the steps here, okay? So if you see right now on the video side, actually my screen, I'll just, 1 second here. All right, so yeah, if you see the video here, real quick, so let's play this around. All right, so first things is we create the scenes first, right? Because no matter what people will tell you, the reality is, as somebody who spent millions of dollars doing all this stuff over the last few years, you have to create the sequencing through images, okay? If somebody says, I just created a bunch of a prompt and create the whole video, it's never gonna come good, because there's camera zooming, there's lighting effects, there's like this whole idea of what we call congruence, right? It has to be congruent throughout. And it's becoming more important now. So first things first, let's go through this real quickly one more time, and then I'll walk you through what I did with the GPT and the automation for you to copy, okay? All right. So first things first, you have two scenes happening, right? First second is some watchmaker is playing around here with the clocks, and an elderly gentleman. And then they're right here around 2, 3 seconds in, you got this elderly gentleman working with the clock, with the glasses and everything. And then you got somebody sees him and walks in. Okay. And the twist is revealed towards the end. That's what we call open loop and closed loop, right? A story is, who is this gentleman who's watching him here, right? And then there's another scene cut here, you see? And then the person is walking out and then the door shuts, right? So, and then we see a zoom in camera panning shot here. And then we move to another sequence, right? When this happens. So this is what happens here. The person is going back and building it, is working hard, putting together the right here. And then as I fast forward this, right here around, I believe 21 seconds in, it's scene cuts to like a funeral looks like. And this gentleman, this young gentleman that we saw earlier is walking through, and he goes inside and he walks into the store one more time, right? And then he comes in here and he comes in here. The day you said your first word, it's written emotional, right? So it's something about a baby or something like that. And then he realizes a twist here. And the twist is that this gentleman walked away from his own father's store. He didn't even recognize it, right? And then he realizes, oh, wow, I made a mistake. And the day you are home, right? And so basically, if you go back to the open loop that happened here in the story, was he came in, he saw this, like we call this modernity, right? Where it is like what modern day stuff, we don't look at ancient stuff that, let's say, for example, somebody coming from a farm to the city has no respect for his farming, for example, history or heritage, right? Same logic here. He doesn't respect his father's heritage. He says it's an antique thing and he moves on and he doesn't even recognize his father, right? That's the exact story we're trying to tell. It's not just about AI just building a bunch of scenes together. It cries emotional, right? And then it ends here, right? The sequence of the zoom in shot. And that is basically what we are trying to tell, right? That is the story, right? So there are two components here, right? The component number one is the emotional aspect. Component number two is basically you have the aspect of the father and son dynamic, right? Which we can all relate to, or father and daughter, whatever, doesn't matter. And then the component number three here is obviously where we open the loop of somebody coming in and not going into the store because like, hey, who buys old school watches? We are digital stuff we buy today, right? Phones and iWatches and all that. So he opens the door and actually leaves. And then we recollect back with the funeral. And then he walks into the store and realizes, hey, that's his own father's store here that he didn't want to go into, right? So there's open loop, closed loop, right? That all happened in just like this 1 minute video. See, so the main thing I always tell people is there's this tendency before we get to this workflow and we build it where I want to create a 20-minute video. You don't have to. What matters these days is how much of that video is shareable, right? I will love to share this video to people. And the more people share, the more people will watch. Completion times of that video, how many people have actually watched it all the way through. And also the third thing that matters more than the video length itself is what is the impact it had, such that you come back, watch it again, share it, and also watch other videos in that YouTube channel or Instagram channel. Is that clear? So now let's recreate this whole thing. Okay. So if you go into that page, that videoexpress.ai/workflow, again, that's free for you, that you can utilize. And so if you come into that page, you will land into a page that looks something like this, right? So let me share that screen here real quick. So there we go. So this is the page. So now let's talk about how do we recreate this, okay? You have two options. You can do it under ChatGPT or you can do it under Google Gemini. Again, I would personally prefer ChatGPT simply because, it's a more older platform. A lot of you are familiar with it than maybe Gemini, but hey, up to you. You can do either or, okay? I'm not fully gone into the depths of how different both of them are, to be honest. So you can try, and if you don't like the results of Gemini, maybe try ChatGPT, because I have gone in depth on the ChatGPT side and also Gemini side, but not the differences, right? And don't expect both of them to do the exact same stuff because AI hallucinates. They'll do different things. All right. So now let's go into the ChatGPT thing here. All right, so let's go in here, okay? So it opens up this workflow, right? So I've created this right here. It says idea to 3D workflow. And then we have this right here. So turn any idea into a simple workflow. So same logic, okay? If you were to recreate this video, again, you can create any video realistically. So I can say something like an idea, right? Of what an emotional video of elderly man who is a father to his only son, and he is a clock and watchmaker following ancient, ancient arts that is now lost. His son comes into the store and leaves not knowing his own father, right? I'm just telling you to kind of get the idea, because again, you can just give it an idea to create it, but I'm telling you this so that you can see how the logic behind it goes, right? And not knowing his own father and not recognizing him, right? And later on, I'm just trying to tell you to recreate the whole thing, but it's up to you, right? And then the father passes away, and when the son takes over the store, um, he realizes his mistake, right? This is nostalgic and very emotional, right? Something like that. And then yeah, generate it. So now what's happening is that it's going in and it is effectively taking this base idea. And then what it will do is it will generate us the prompts. And again, you can use any account, even the free ChatGPT account should be able to do this. It just maybe takes longer or whatever. And what it's basically doing is that it's generating the image prompts, the story behind the scenes, and the whole structure. So if we come back here, what is it really doing? Let's discuss that, right? So this is what it's doing. You see in my screen right now. So type an idea. We give it an idea, right? Whatever idea. And this is where you come into the picture. Don't expect AI to also create the idea for you, because one of the things I've noticed is when you do that, everybody creates the same stuff. So you can come up with an idea like a grandmother and grandchild, where the grandchild grows up and she misses her grandma's recipes, right? That could be an example of an emotional connect, or there's so many other ideas, right? And then we get the structure, right? You see this? We get the structure of the characters, the emotional beats, the timestamps, and the dialogues, right? From this, and then I'm seeing this question: what is the cost? This is free. This workflow. All you need to do is get VideoExpress to get to use this stuff to create the videos and stuff, right? Instead of having to pay extra money on Kling or other stuff. And then anyway, so type an idea, get the structure, generate the frames. A frame is basically, if you recall, I explained to you, right, where the scene cuts are happening. Okay, and then you're going to animate those clips. Okay, and the idea is that once you have this, and you can basically do this at the next level, it'll make your life a lot more easier in order to replicate the stuff where you can change things slightly, right? Whether it's vertical video or whether it's horizontal video or whatever. Okay. So anyway, let's go back here, the ChatGPT thing, and then it's setting up right here, as you can see, and it's telling us what it's doing. I did all the work for you, by the way. Okay. So what is the work really? I'll build this copy and paste 3D short film package with continuous timestamps, stable character continuity, emotional pacing, concise dialogue, and nostalgic VideoExpress.ai short prompts, right? It's doing all the work behind the scenes to generate this for you, okay? Now, the goal here again, and it'll say here, you see pro, whatever stand, it doesn't really matter. It's the same. The logic is the same. It'll generate the whole setup. And then the goal here, what we're really aiming for, and I'll kind of show you kind of a visual representation of what we are trying to achieve, because I've even done that for you to simplify this stuff. Okay. So let me show you this right now. So the goal is effectively to ensure that we create the storyboard and some of the elements and stuff like that in an easy to follow format. Okay, that is the ultimate goal that we are trying to achieve here, and create the outputs and all that kind of stuff, right? So let me show you the exact idea here, and then it'll give you the concept behind it and stuff like that. Okay, so it's generating all that work for us right here. So basically here, if I show you, let me show you. So it's doing something like this. You understand? Here, there you go. That's what we are trying to establish, right? These elements, we're trying to opening shot. This is what we are doing in the form of prompts here, okay? You see there's these scene cuts here, visitor enters, visitor leaves, right? You see these prompts. This is kind of what we're trying to do, but more in a nutshell, where you do everything inside Video Express, where the image generation, everything. You don't have to pay extra money to a Nano Banana or to ChatGPT or something like that. Okay, and then we create all this stuff to be able to generate that. That's the workflow, right? That's what we're able to generate, and that's what I've systemized for you in a visual manner. You get it, right? So in a nutshell, okay. So now if I let me just zoom this out a little bit here, real quick. And then let's discuss this. Okay, the project snapshot, the clock that waited, right? And the log line, the visual style, right? And then we have the ending and all that kind of stuff, right? So the characters we are trying to generate here, you see, and then who the two characters are, right? And you see the emotional arc is given here just for our reference, but I simplified it even further. This is what is important: storyboard and generation prompts. Okay, so here, if you scroll down, you'll see in that GPT, storyboard and generation prompt. So you have 0 to 6 seconds, establish the old man shop, Elias's lonely world. And then the text to image prompt is right here. If I zoom out real quick, so you'll see this text to image prompt and image to video prompt. Okay, are you following along right now? So let me actually highlight this. Sometimes, it's maybe easier for you to, if I highlight this. So here, I have this right here, text to image prompt. And then I also have the video to image to video prompt, right? So in these areas right here. So the goal here always, right, is going to be like, can I do this, right? And then can I do that? So what you can do now is you can take these elements and copy and paste them into the Video Express application, right? And then you can go straight up and use it however you want. So you see this? So you can open view files in chat, you can do this pin chat and all that stuff. So this is the image prompts we are getting. And then this is the video prompts that we are getting, right? So now if, for example, you click on any one of this is like an ask ChatGPT thing, right? So you can even ask what I want to do and all that. Does that make sense? So this is the basic idea of what we're trying to achieve. So it'll do us all these areas so we can copy and paste whatever we want to copy and then utilize. Okay. Now, the simple concept is, if you see here also, 12 to 18 seconds, Thomas enters the store. I'm looking for a watch, and then blah, blah, blah. It'll do its own thing, and it'll tell us the dialogue. It tell us this stuff. So then it gives us the entire system for up to like 1 minute and 6 seconds here, right? And then you get the image and the video prompts. Okay. So in simple terms, what do we mean by text to image prompt and image to video prompts? Let's discuss that as well. Okay. That which you see here. And while I do that, let's come back to this scenario here that I can share with you, right? You'll see. So you see the type an idea, get a structure, generate frames, and animate clips, right? So if you go back into Video Express, let me share. So you see how we have your image prompt and video prompt? Same logic. If I come back here, text to image prompt means image prompt right here. And then if we see here, image to video prompt, this part is the video and audio prompt. Does that make sense? Is that clear right now what we are trying to achieve? Okay. All right. Clear, clear. I see a lot of people saying clear. Good, good. All right. So what you can do is at any point, you can come in and then you can just copy and paste these into your own workflow. If you cannot copy and paste it, what you can tell ChatGPT, by the way, is you can chat with it like so, right? You can say, can you please give me a markdown? What we call markdown is a TXT type file with each of the, for example, image and video prompts. Okay, I can edit this down the line based on your feedback, right? So then what will be is easier to download and copy, right? For me to download and copy. You can do that. If you're unable to copy these in granular level, somehow ChatGPT is blocking you, right? Or you're not able to do for any reason, your browser is blocking it. So then you can get the markdown file right here. This is a neat trick I do. And then what it'll do is it'll just basically give it to you like a simple TXT file to copy and paste. Okay. So that way you can effectively do this step by step. Okay. All right. So let me bring myself here real quick to the screen. So far, just to basically explain some stuff that I've done to you folks so you can understand is that, again, my goal is not to go fast and then folks miss out, right? One of the frustrating things for me these days, honestly, is I see these YouTube videos from all these influencers and stuff where effectively people come, they teach all this stuff, and then it's so fast paced. it goes boom, boom, boom with all this stuff. I can't even really pay attention to stuff. So I want to do it in a more slow-paced manner. I don't even care if this video gets many views after the fact, but I'm trying to help the people who get Video Express throughout the process. And if I do it live, I can answer these questions as well for you folks every step of the way. Okay. So now that we've explained that, let's go back. So right here, let's go in here. So to simplify this, again, I'm gonna show you what I did here. So here, if we highlight this stuff, so this text to image prompt is gonna be the image prompt in Video Express. So again, this text to image prompt, if I open up Video Express, that will be in, if I highlight that, oh, let me just put this one to this direction. You see there, you have a create from prompt area, you have an image prompt. So what will happen is this stuff will come here. Does that make sense? Text to image prompt will come in this section. And then you see image to video. So if you do that, let me just put a different marker. This, whatever is here, right? This stuff will come into this tab. Okay. So in other words, if I put number 1 as this and number 2 as this, okay, you're following along? So you got that, you put that in this section, and then you have that, you put that in this section, okay? Pretty easy, straightforward stuff. Now, the more you do that, then we're gonna have to do something else, right? We're gonna have to create the consistent character shot of 2 characters as well, which I'll get to in just a second, okay? So what you can do, okay, is for the initial shot, if you see here carefully, right, you will notice that it says here, right, a film still of Elias, 74-year-old man, and then you see right here, it shows it. But also, if you notice it carefully, I have here, right, project snapshot, and then I said visual style, and then I have some of these elements, right, and the character assumptions, right, right here I have, and then character storyline, you see here. So if you see here, right here, this is basically the prompt. You see, I'm highlighting this stuff. This is going to be the continuity actor, this section, okay, is going to be where I can generate a consistent character from. Does that make sense? So what you could do as step number 1, right, if you want to generate this exact stuff, you can even redo it differently. But let's say if you want to copy this, you see how I highlighted this part, this section, this one right here that I'm highlighting, this one. So this stuff, what you're going to do is you're going to generate an image in Video Express. Okay, you can even use Artistly if you want to more granular control, but I'll just show you the image. So like here, right? So let's say it's landscape or vertical. I want landscape 16 by 9. So I've selected the 16 by 9 thing right here, right? And then I'll just highlight this slightly different. All right. So now because I did that, what I can do here is I can come back, I'll right click and I'll paste. Okay. Does that make sense? So Elias, a frail clockmaker with warm brown skin, blah, blah, blah. It explains to him. And this is this portrait, right? So what we can do is automatically enhance my prompt image type. It says human. I want to do 3D, correct? So I'll do 3D. All right. And then I'll even share this to public gallery so you guys and gals can see it. All right. So now click generate. So what I'm doing is I'm being the father character now, right? So in case if I want to reuse him in this particular case as a different storyline, I can do so. So it's generating that landscape shot of this one gentleman, right? You see this right here. Now, of course, if I want to put glasses or whatever, I can do so too. For now, I'll just say save, okay? I'll save. And by the way, it will never be the same image as I showed you in my example, correct? Because I'm generating it from scratch. So if I were to reuse that same one I created earlier, I can do so. Okay, so step number 1, I generated this character's image. Then I can also do the second part, which is Thomas, right? Thomas is the son, right? Age range is some 34 years old or whatever. And you see that here, continued actor Thomas. And then we right click here, and then we can generate this. So again, to simplify this right here is what I'm talking about, okay? The continuity actor. I know you can't see that clearly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom this in a bit more, all right? So here, okay? So I'll take this, okay? I'll right click this, I'll copy this continuity actor. I'll come back. And then what I can do here is you see how I have like just pay attention to this part, okay? So when I hover over it, there's a save button here. You see this? Save image. I'll save. So the idea is that I'm going to save this as a consistent character for future use, So that's the basic idea of this, all right? If I do that. So I save this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the other one. If you don't want to, you can always do right click and you can do this, right? And you can also save image like this, right? For example, if that's something you want to do, okay? Up to you. All right. So, and then right click, and now I'm going to paste. the son, right? Thomas, 34-year-old man, blah, 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 right? And automatically enhance prompt as well. I'll do that as well because sometimes, enhancing will allow it to get a little bit more, realism and that sort of thing in the application. So now what did we do so far? Step number one, we got this and this, right? Now, if I'm not happy with this, I can always change. Okay. It's up to you. You can always do it. So what I can do is 34-year-old shot, and I can say, for example, it's a small crescent scar, blah, blah, blah. I can just say like, um, I can say something like close up portrait. Does that make sense? So that way, if you want, we'll do it like a close-up portrait, so we can reuse more of the facial features. In this case, it's okay. It also did some kind of scar. I don't want to put the scar. I'll remove that. I don't like the scar. Let's say here, I removed that as well. Right. So now let's just do that. Okay. So now just create the image, and then I can save the one I like from the two. Okay. So if I don't like this, I'll just go create another one. That's the beauty of VideoExpress 2, right? So now you can pick. This is good because now I have more detail, right? I have the eye color, I have the skin tone, I have the hair, curly hair, and all that showing, which is good to have. Portrait shots are good for consistent character. Okay. So click save. All right. And then let me remove this URL so now you can see it more clearly. So cool. All right. So I'm going to zoom this in more, make myself a little bit smaller so you can see this clearly. So now you see what's happening, right? I have this, I saved this as well. So I have the father saved and the son saved, correct? So now what happens is when you save the image, right? There's also a save image button in the bottom if you're interested. Okay, same thing, same logic. It does the same thing. So you can save that. And then what happens is you can go in and you see it says the image has already been saved. It tells me that. All right. So what happens is in the future, if you want to reuse these characters like I plan to do, you can then use the consistent character image. So what's going to happen, right? So we save these, right? Go to media library. It should be under your My AI images. These, yeah, see this in your My AI images. So let me repeat that again. Go to media library on the top. Okay, media library on the top, and then you go into the folder, which is the automatic folder, by the way, that occurs in the bottom. So the automatic folder that occurs is going to be here under my images. Okay. This is the automatic folder these things appear in. And then you're going to go into my images. You're going to see these two, right? So father character and then the son character. You see? So now what you can do is let's assume you wanted to generate that, right? We go back to the GPT thing, right? Where we created that chat GPT thing, right? So here, you see? So now what we can do is we can go straight to the storyboard and generation and prompt stuff, right? So here, this stuff. So I suggest, my suggestion to you, just use the dark mode for ChatGPT, because when you're highlighting, I can't see it that well here. In dark mode, you'll be able to see it better, okay? So again, I'm trying to tell you if you were to start from scratch, what you would do, okay? So I can go in here, I can go to settings, right? And then here, you can see here, accent color and all that, right? And then you have all this. So you can go to appearance and then click dark, okay? So again, go to settings, appearance, and look. It's same thing with Google as well if you're using Google, okay? So dark, there we go, okay? So now here, the advantage because of this dark mode thing is when I'm highlighting, you see how it highlights a little bit better? I can see what I'm highlighting, okay? So right click, copy. That's why people use dark mode over light mode. You can kind of see. So you see when I highlighted it now, I can see it, right? This part is different from this part in the bottom, right? Obviously. So that's why I better do dark mode. All right. So that click copy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back to VideoExpress. Okay. Is that clear? We're going to come back to VideoExpress because now we have the text to image prompt and image to video prompt, correct? So what we can do here, come back, and I'm going to copy and paste this prompt. You see? So now, you see, vertical is 9 by 16. We're going to make it such that when you give like your choice, you don't have to keep on switching this. This can be done tomorrow. So you're going to click on landscape. And then let's go here, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down here. And then right here, this thing. So now what you're going to do is you're going to use this. You're going to use consistent character. Okay. Because I need to recreate that same person, right? Every time. So this one right here, I'm going to select consistent character. And what I would suggest is because you're bringing it from ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI, you already have a full prompt, right? Never, when you have the full prompt like this, very detailed, never check this box, okay? This one, automatically enhance. Never do that. Okay. So you're going to have to uncheck because you're confusing the AI, right? So I'll put 3D and then uncheck automatically enhance my prompt because I already have the detailed prompt here. So it's going to confuse the AI, right? Now click on reference image right here. Okay. And then what you can do is click reference image, go back to this, let me here, right here, AI images, and then select this one because this is the one we wanted to do, right? The Elias character, the 74-year-old man. All right. So like over here, select choose. And then here, if you see, scroll down, this is done. Now let's click on the image. Okay. And this is all real time. So you can see, and we generate two images all the time because sometimes, if the fingers are off or like hands are off, what we found out is that 100% of the time the images will come good. That's why we do two because AI sometimes just makes up stuff 10% of the time. So better do it too. It costs us more money to do it, but we want to solve the problem of any bad errors that might come, right? So there we go. You see? So I have this gentleman in the watch store now with the glasses now. See? If I wanted to do that, it's maintaining the glasses. If you see, zoom in. So that's the idea here, right? So now we have the shot number 1. So now let's go back to shot number 2 here. So we go back here, it's saying image to video prompt, right? So I did the text to video. Now we're going to turn this image into video. Okay. So let me click on this, animate the image, blah, 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 and this one. Now, of course, since it's real time, if it doesn't come good, we can always switch around, right? So what we can do is just click on this. Okay. Right here. And then here, what I would suggest to do for these things is just click on the advanced mode and then uncheck the automatically enhanced video prompt stuff. Okay. So uncheck that. Now, why am I doing that? Let me explain. When you give a detailed prompt like this, same like how we did the unchecking of automatically enhanced image prompt, we created an advanced mode, but it'll skip all kinds of optimizations we are doing behind the scenes to simplify the image quality, video quality, and stuff like that. So when you actually remove that automatically enhanced video prompt stuff, it will, as is, take this. Does that make sense? So again, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Let's see how it comes. And then you see how I didn't put the manual video length thing right here. This is because we did like an ingenious system behind the scenes that based upon what you put here, right? Because you said 6 seconds, right? So let's say it might come 5.5 seconds, 6.5 seconds, something like that, right? So because of that, it's automatic. Based on what you say here, it'll generate that for you. Okay. So now once you're happy with that, I'll click create video. Okay. Because the advanced mode will deal with this stuff for us. So click create and boom. So it's starting to create this video, right? The video will appear in the media library here under AI videos once completed. Okay. Once it's completed, it'll appear there. So it's processing right now, right? So once it's done. So I'll show you once there. So let's go to the next step here. Okay. So come here. And then you see right here from 0 to 6 seconds, right? And then you're going to come in here, cinematic 3D animated film, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to select this. I know it's very unclear for you, so I'll zoom this in so you can see it, okay? So again, what am I doing here? You see this text to image prompt? I'm just taking the second prompt, okay? The image prompt, the second one, because I want to create scene 1, scene 2, okay? All right, excellent. So let's do that. And let's just copy this. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna generate the same image, right? Same gentleman, right? I have this, right? I'm gonna generate the second image now. Again, I'm gonna use the same consistent character photo because I'm trying to generate the same gentleman. If it was a son, it would be different, right? It's the father, it's the same. I'm trying to create. So come back here, delete this, right click, paste. All right. Something like this. And while I'm doing it, the first video I created, I'll show you that in just a second, but let's just get to this. So now let's just click on after I set the prompt. Again, I want to uncheck this automatically enhance my prompt. I know it's a little bit of pain just because we are trying to use AI to do all the work for us here. Because a lot of people, 90% of people don't do all this workflow stuff, right? So anyway, let's just click create image now. And then what I'm doing is basically is still of him. He is actually working on a workbench covered in hand cut gears and antique tools, and I'm trying to create that environment and that scene, right? That we can then turn to video. There we go. So the gentleman you see right here is actually doing his craft, right? There we go. He's doing his craft. So now I'll pick this one. Up to you, right? If you'll see two options, which one you like, you can pick. I personally like this one a little bit more, the first one, this one. Okay. And then what I can do is, as you can see here, I can come in here. Let's go back to the screen. Okay. And there we go. What do we need to do next? We turn this into video, correct? So now we come back here. Again, I'm going to select this part. Again, just for reference. I know it's a little bit tiny for you. So I'm going to try to, let me do it this way. So zoom this in and I'm going to show you. So you see the image to video thing right here? I'm going to take the second scene. Okay. And I know it's kind of too slow for process, but please walk through with me because I want you to understand if you were to do it from the beginning, what would you do here, right? Effectively. So right click copy. And then I'll come back to the video prompt. So I'll delete this. I'll right click and then I'll paste. So in other words, you see right here, Elias is studying and he's adding a little subtle thing. And the elderly man is saying, time remembers what people forget, right? Animate natural lip sync, blah, 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 right? So you get the point. All right. So here, again, same thing. I'm going to do advanced mode checked. I'm going to uncheck this, okay? Automatically enhance because I don't need to enhance this prompt. It's good enough. Okay. And then you're going to click on the create video. Okay. So now what did we do? We did two scenes and I'll show you as well how these two scenes came out. But let's go in while this is generating to generate the son's character, right? And relation to that. So you see here, let me go back here. You see here, right? Like what's happening here? Thomas enters the store, unaware he's facing his father, right? And he's saying, I'm looking for a watch, then listen to the quiet ones, blah, blah, blah. All right. So here, what our goal will be is that we need to generate both Thomas and Elias's photos. You understand? Because both of them are in the scene together. So how we do this is let me right click and copy this image prompt. This one right here. Okay. All right. This one. Okay. This thing right here. And then we're going to generate an image together. So let me show you visually, then I'll also walk you through. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. I'll keep answering. Okay. So, so multiple consistent characters, what I'm talking about. So we have Elias here, the older gentleman. We want to put Thomas here, the younger gentleman, correct? So that's the goal here. So let's just go in here. What you'll do is go to reference photo number 2, like so. All right. And then you're going to click on this. And then you're going to come back. Where did we save it? Remember, it's always going to be under my AI images. So we're going to go in. We're going to click on my AI images. And then we're going to select the character number 2, which is the sun, correct? Click on the sun, select, choose. See? So now what happened here? We have 2 photos, correct? We have 1 and then we have 2. So this is how we create both of them in the same scene, okay? So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to take this prompt, right, of the son and the father together, right click, copy, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to come in, delete this. Okay. Whenever I delete it, you see how it's automatically checking the enhanced prompt. So that's for everybody. So you just uncheck it when you do this workflow. Because again, if you remove that, a lot of people will not get the best images and stuff. So then we do this and then let's generate the prompt. Okay. Sometimes it'll not come good. If it doesn't also, I'll show you how to fix it. That's more important, right? It's not like, oh, came good the first time. Okay. So that's the basic idea. Okay. So here we go. All right. So there we go. So it's generating the images right now. 2 image variations of the father and the son. Okay. 2 particular people. Okay. So while this is doing, I'm getting what for do we check advanced prompt? So as I mentioned, so this is the image, right? Got generated. So as I mentioned, there we go. These 2 are here. Okay. So what the advanced mode does basically is that when you check the advanced mode, it effectively does some automations behind the scenes, such as the length is automatically modified to match the video prompt here, number 1. Okay. Second thing that it does, it also allows you to skip this lip sync HD video. You don't have to worry about lip sync HD. Just that option is there for automation purposes to simplify it for you. You see where it says time remembers what people forget or whatever. If that was the speech, it will automatically do it based upon the prompt here. You don't have to go into lip sync HD and stuff. It understands all this stuff better. Okay. But the only thing is when you do advanced mode like this, please uncheck the automatically enhanced video prompt because your prompt is really good, right? So anyway, while we see you got two images, right? We have one here and then we have another one here. You see? So we have one and then the other one like this. You see? I personally, if you see here, I personally, if you see the detailing and stuff to match it, I like this one better because it's both of them are together in the scene, let's say. So I'll take this up to you. Okay. All right. So now let's go back. And then now what we're going to do? We're going to go back here. And then if I go in here, you see this chart, image to video prompt. And then you come back here and then you see this right here, right? So right here, we come back. Okay. Both of them are together. This is the third one. You see, I'm copying it. So in other words, come back here, this right here, I'm going to come back and I'm going to copy this, right click copy. And then this is basically where they're having a conversation together, correct? So what I can do is I can right click and paste this. Okay, this right here. And then in this, you see here, Thomas removes one glove, scans the watches, blah, 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 and stuff. So in that case, he's not wearing any gloves. See, that's why sometimes confusions can occur, but you can fix it. It's not a big deal. And if you see anything off, okay? Now advanced mode is on, and now you can effectively create this video. And if something is off, you can update the prompt here, okay? So create. So now, regardless of how long this ends up coming, so let's say it comes 7 seconds instead of 6 I suggested, or 5, it doesn't matter. The advanced mode will automatically figure it out and readjust the length of the video, which is awesome. You don't have to worry about it abruptly cutting the speech or something like that. Does that make sense? So that's the basic idea. That's why we're using the advanced mode, okay? To give us that more control of the prompt, because already your prompt is good. You don't have to worry about more advanced control and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about enhancing the prompt and all that. The work is being done by ChatGPT here behind the scenes, correct? Or Gemini if you're using Google Gemini. Okay, same logic applies. All right. So now this is being created. Now let me do one other sequence and I'll show you the videos. Okay. So as you can see, Elias realizes Thomas is his son, right? And right here, okay? So we can generate the same image, which is the 18 seconds to 24. They come back here. And then again, we can keep both of them right here, okay? All right, so let's come here and then right click and paste, okay? It just generated that prompt. Consistent character is checked, remember? Consistent character is checked here, okay? And then we're just going to click on the create image, okay, which is the next part of the sequence, right? 24 seconds. So it's while it's generating it, I'm also going to take the video prompt, okay, of this, where it says right here, okay? And then also, if you notice here, no dialogue, hold expression, blah, 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 which it's already doing here. Don't worry about that, okay? So there we go. They're having some conversation. In this case, there's no conversation, but he's looking at his scar of his son's face to figure out that that's the son. I'd not seen him for a while. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to paste this, okay? And then the idea here is this Elias' face as his hand loosens around. His face shifts in disbelief, aching in recognition. So he sees his son's face and he recognizes, wow, this is my son. Okay. That's the story. All right. So now click on create video. So I'm turning the image now into a video. Okay. So let's see what happened so far. Okay. And I'm going to share this with you and I'm going to share with you any blemishes that occur as well, because AI is not perfect. Sometimes it'll mess up things. Okay. So let me actually, share the screen one more time properly. Okay. So let me unmute it. Oh, one sec. Let me share the screen here properly because I want you to hear what I'm sharing. Okay. So watch this. And then there we go. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. So let's hear it out. Okay. I'll mute myself as well so you can hear it a little bit better if needed. Let's play. This is the first sequence. Okay, 5 seconds. So in the storyline, what we would do is put this one in the scene number 1, right? Like so. And then let's see the second one. And I'm gonna play that.
Time remembers what people forget.
There we go. Says time remembers what people forget. And that's the second clip, right? If you go back into the sequence here. And then the third one is when the sun walks in, that video that we were doing, right?
I'm looking for a watch. Then listen to the quiet ones.
There we go. And then we can put that in. Okay. In this case, it generated a unique one to what I shared with you. You can also do something called narration video, which I'll get to. So let's just see that right now. Here, this one. Okay, so this is the story here. All right. So if you don't want it to be in that way, you want it to be narration style, meaning somebody's giving a voiceover on top. We do give an option where you see it says narration video, where you can give it like a text to speech voice or like a voice from clonevoice.ai or whatever to create a voiceover behind the scenes. Okay, that's also an option. And the idea will be, let's say, in a world where a father and son meet together for the first time after many years. You want to give that kind of a documentary style explainer, you can do that through the narration video. Okay. So when you click on that, it'll go to the next page and you can give it like a voiceover, or you can give it a script that voiceover has to speak and that sort of thing. You can definitely do that as well. Okay. That's up to you. So how that would work, I'll give you an example as well. So let's just go in here, okay? And I'll explain to you this concept. So let's say we click on the same father right here. What if I want to say something like the father, the man, right? Let's say the man is crying from pain of regret, right? That's it. And I'm just going to do automatically enhanced prompt. This is why we do the automatic enhanced prompt, because people constantly write these kinds of basic prompts, not like advanced prompt, like what you're going to get from ChatGPT or something, correct? So anyway, so if I were to do the advanced prompt, these are all right here, correct? So you see here, right? You see the character, what are they doing? And then broken whisper, slow breathing, you see? And all the stuff we have, correct? So we can copy and paste throughout. So if you wanted to. So you see what mistake I did here. I put image type is human. That's why it made it more realistic. See? So what I would do is put 3D one more time and then click generate. Okay, that's the good thing of VideoExpress, because you don't have to worry about credits and stuff. You can generate more of the stuff. And let's say it's vertical now. If I wanted to landscape, same logic. I can put landscape now and then generate again, right? So that's the beauty, so that you can create stuff. If you, even if you make mistakes, you don't have to worry about paying extra credits and stuff, right? So there we go. See there? It's crying. There's a shot of this. I want it to be in 16:9 photo here. And then you can see how that will appear in just a sec here. There we go, right? We got this snap. So what I want to do here is, if I do the narration style video, let's do that. Narration style video. If I want to select that, click on that. And then you're going to click on create video. You see here, I can do clone voice integration, voice recording, import audio and stuff. What if, right, I want to add something like this, right? So Alistair's voice here, and I say something like this, where it says, in a world where lost art of watchmaking is dying, no one will have any memories left. Let's say that's what I wanted to tell, right? The story here. And then click import speech. So this is going to be where the character is crying, but I'm narrating the background. Does that make sense? So then click create narration video. So now what's going to happen is it's going to effectively take that stuff that I mentioned and it can do it. You can even give it a prompt, obviously, right? So the man is sobbing profusely. Okay. And then here I can automatically do the automatic mode. Then I can effectively adjust, right? The actual length automatically. So if I do create, again, same thing. Okay. So if I like Alistair's voice, again, for consistency, I can do that. So, and you can do it in different languages, obviously, because they have language drop downs here. So you say, in a world where ancient lost art of classic watchmaking is dying, no one will have any memories left. Let's say if that's the script I want to do, I can do that as well, right? So I can import speech, and then now it's going to create that length. This is why we use the advanced mode, okay? So let's say it's 5 seconds here, create narration video. What it's going to do, advanced mode, is going to, if it's 6 seconds, it's going to automatically stretch it, okay, without worrying about any quality loss or lip sync or anything like that. In this case, it's narration, so syncing is what matters, right? So let's just see here. So you see those videos are being created right now. So the idea is that if you're going to do narration at any point in the sequence, you can basically bring that in here. Okay. That's the general idea of it. You can mix and match things as well, where the narration style videos can be utilized across the board, like so. And then you can create an entire story. Okay. That's what we're aiming for here. We're trying to create an entire story of this. Let's play this.
In a world where lost art of watchmaking is dying, no one will have.
This one right here, it was 4 seconds. See, cut off because I didn't use the advanced mode. Let me play that again.
In a world where lost art of watchmaking is dying, no one will have.
See, in a world, no one will have, it got cut off, right? No one will have any memories, was what I wrote. This is the reason why we use the advanced mode. See, remember the question came in. Why do we have the advanced mode? It'll readjust the length of the clip to match the length of the audio. That is the reason why we do the advanced mode. Okay. See, because what happens with otherwise is that AI is just going to guess, okay, the animation of this person crying is good enough for 4 seconds. I don't know what to do after. So I'm going to cut the audio, right? So when you do the advanced mode, what we are telling behind the scenes, the AI is like, hey, no matter what the length of the clip is, no matter what the length of the animation is, just extend it. You
In
see
a
this?
world where
There we
ancient.
go. Let me repeat that again. You see this magic? 7 seconds, and then you don't have to worry about audio getting cut off. That's the power of advanced mode. You see how we thought through all this stuff, right? Watch this.
In a world where ancient lost art of classic watchmaking is dying, no one will have any memories left.
There we go. See? Got it, it's no one will have any memories. It ended there. That's the power of advanced mode. Okay. So come back here and you're going to use this. So we don't have to regenerate stuff until it comes good. That is automatically done behind the scenes. No other application does this, by the way. I know sometimes people say where, this is better, that is better. Minor quality of life stuff like this, nobody seems to be doing, which kind of not fun, right? Because you try everything until you get what you want. So now you see, you can add it. So let's say, for example, in the timeline, if I zoom this in, right? So if you see, this is my timeline, right? So if I highlight it, this is my timeline, correct? So what my goal here that I'm trying to achieve is that to create a story. Oftentimes people ask us, why do we even have this timeline editor? It's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit janky. It's too many things happening for this reason. So for example, if I wanted to put this segment at any point in time, I can bring these other segments out to this section and I can put this segment here, you see, and lock it in. Okay. And then I can even crop it where there's like a little bit, to make things exciting. If I want to crop any element out, let's watch this. There, right? This little section, it looks kind of inconspicuous, let's say, inconspicuous. Right? You can just crop this by selecting this little scissor icon to make it a little bit more exciting, that little bit of pause or whatever. So you can crop that cut and it's going to make it a little bit more. Do you see? Watch.
In a world.
There we go. Just go straight up. And even this, I'm not happy. See where, watch.
In a world where
There is little bit of pause, right? Where it starts. So I can even crop that little bit. I know it sounds kind of where I have OCD or something, but sometimes you're doing a short video for YouTube and stuff. These little details matter to not waste even half a second. Okay. So I can crop this little part, right? You see this little part doesn't seem like much, this part right here. Okay. I can crop that in out as well. Okay. I can delete that now. You see, I right click this, delete that part, and then I can log these in. That's the reason why we do the editor. Okay. A lot of times people ask like, why do we even have an editor? For these reasons, because this little bit of polishing matters a lot, which you cannot do with AI these days. If you tell the AI, right, hey, ChatGPT, can you please crop that element in the end? It will do it half the time. It won't do it half the time. It might do 10%. It's a waste of your time, right? So that's the idea. Okay. So now when your project is ready, okay, you can do the same thing for the whole story, by the way. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where if you come back here, well, yeah. So come back here in this section, at the very end, you see, we have all these elements here and there's talking. And then let's just do this last one, okay? Because again, for the sake, you get the point, right? How we're doing the whole story. So if I were to start from scratch again, whatever, use the consistent character, reference photo, I can even do the same logic, right? So in this particular case, in the very end, we see only Thomas, for example, which is the son. He's looking at the watch and stuff. So I'll just go in, like you see, the prompt says that, right? 34-year-old man, whatever, he's doing it. So they go here. Go back to that place where it is there, my AI images, like so. And what we're doing is the same logic here, okay? This one right here. And then we're going to select this and choose, okay? And right click, and then we're going to paste that prompt, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm pasting this image prompt at the last sequence just to show you, how you can continue on with this. It won't take you much time, honestly, but it gets you what you want to get, right? The exact output. Put 3D, and then I'm going to click on create image. So now what we're doing is we're creating the last scene in the segment. Okay. Of course, you can do other ones too. And the beauty with Video Express is you can, create those sequences while the other one is being generated. For people who have the all access account, you can do the 5 parallel generations of videos at once. So you can create almost a 1 minute video right away, right? And while that is being created, you can work on other projects and stuff. Nobody else does that too, ironically. So let's say I want to do landscape. I don't want to do it this way. I want to do landscape, and then I click create because this is the landscape option here, like so. And then I'm gonna create this sequence, and then I'm gonna also get the video prompt. You see, so I had the video prompt here, right here. Right click, copy. Then I can come back here, and there we go. Which image do we like here? I personally like this one. Okay, this angle looks nice. So I'll copy paste the video prompt. Okay, because there's some lip sync happening right here as well. So again, I'll just click on advanced mode, and I'm going to uncheck automatically enhance my video prompt because the prompt is very advanced here already. So click create video. So while this is getting created, I kind of wanted to walk you through this step. Okay, because this is the end, right? So let's say this is going to go all the way to 50 seconds or so. And we have even as you can see here, right? You can change the voice. You've seen that tutorial, but if sometimes the consistency of the voice is off, you can go change, click on the voice changer, and then you can choose, the sample audio and stuff, and replace that. So, for example, you can save the voice, right? Where it shows the first 5 seconds of speech, wherever that ad is talking. Let's say he's not talking
World
here.
where ancient lost art of classic
That's not talking.
Time remembers what people...
There. So what I would do is I want to save that voice. I click on voice changer, right click. Okay, right click my mouse, voice changer, and then I will uh, pick this and then I'll apply. Okay. So now it's saved this voice. Correct. So now you can choose the sample audio once it's saved, and then you can reuse this again. We have a tutorial on how to do this, pretty much on how to save this exact audio, the source media. So how you can do is right click, save audio first. Okay. Save audio. And this is the title. So I can say, for example, Elias, 74-year-old man voice. Okay, click save. And then what we can do is it's been saved under my audio, AI audio. Okay, on the top you saw. So then I can go if I want to change the voice anywhere. Let's say, for example, if I want him to change the voice here, for example, or any section where he's speaking again, all I have to do is I pick that, and then I go voice changer, choose sample audio, which one I wanted to replace with, because if I want consistent voice, my AI audio, and you see this one, Elias, 74-year-old man. You see it says that in the bottom here. And then I'm going to select that. That way you can keep the voice consistent. Because what happens with two people talking sometimes, it's very difficult to maintain consistency. That's across every application out there. So we solve it through this. So we choose and we apply, it'll always have that same voice. You can even control the accents through the prompts this way. So for accents, it will not maintain the same accent, but definitely the voice tonality and everything. So for accents, you can do that through the prompting itself, where in a British tone, he says, or something like that. All right. So for example, if I go back to my media gallery, the last scene, let's discuss this. You'll see it. So this was the last sequence, right? This one.
I hear you now, Dad.
See this? Now, if this one, I wanted to change the accent, I'll show you, okay? So go to redesign. Here, you can change it, okay? So where you can say, animate this, blah, blah, blah. And then where it says, I hear you now, Dad, we can say, Thomas says in neutral American English accent, or neutral. We've tested it in British, American, Indian English. We tested some others. South African, not as much. It's not working that well, South African English, but it does work with Filipino English, for example, and stuff. Okay. Neutral British accent. And then you see this, it says the neutral British accent, British English. You can put the accent right here. So if the accent is matching, the changing of the voice is a piece of cake. Let me repeat that again. If the accent is British accent throughout, but the voice changes, we can maintain it through that change voice feature. But if one is British accent, one is American accent, it'll just sound like that person's talking British, which not the best option. So that's why you want to name it in the prompt itself. Okay. So click create. And then you can go with that. Again, you can use advanced mode as well for that if you want. And then to ensure that the length of it is matched. So now the person will speak British, right? The son. So now once you're done, let's say you have this video as well done, right? Let's say, and now that'll be the British accent video if you want, as an example, and you can do the voice. So this is the whole project, right? So from the beginning, we have it, created the story.
Listen to the quiet ones.
There we go. That it ends there. We can put like some slide, like text animations here if you want to, within text animations and stuff. That's where the beauty comes. Okay. So now that is the workflow number 1 for the cartoon. Okay. So if you understood this properly, you let me know once, then I'll walk you through the second stuff, right? The more realistic stuff as well. Okay. So that that way you can walk through it, you can play around with it in your own sweet time, right? So that's the basic concept. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Great. Great. This is a good question. Why does it sigh? So the way it is when we say emotions and we don't tell it to speak or anything, and we say he's sad or something, it sighs. All right. If you say he's happy, he'll smile or laugh or whatever. The more details you give, the more likely it is. In this particular case, if you see the emotion of the video is sadness or like nostalgia, right? So that's where the sighing comes from, just for reference. Okay, so that's clear. So what did we do so far? Let's discuss. Okay, you come back here. We discussed for the cartoon style. We discussed the idea, the structure, the generate frames, and then we did the animate clips. Right? We did these 4 things for the cartoon style. Right? Which is if I highlight this, I did this section right here. Okay. I did the 3D style, idea to 3D animated short film. I didn't do the whole thing because I want to move to the second part, right? Because you can play it around in your own sweet time once you follow along here. Realistic talking is what I want to talk about next, okay? So that this will be straightforward for you, okay? And now the question was, I think I'm missing a simple text option. That's a good question. So we do have it, by the way. That's the beauty of VideoExpress. So what we can do is at any point in time, you wanted to add in, and by the way, just to close the loop, okay, before I get to this question is, this is the British accent thing, right? So this.
I hear you now, Dad.
See, that's a British accent. You see what happened there? Because I prompted it to have British accent. So if that's what you wanted. Anyway, so in regards to the text animations, that was a good question you asked, which is, can I just add text? So you have these text animations like lower thirds, intros, outros, text animations here, text effects here, and stuff like that, of course, to make it a little bit interesting, like lower third elements and stuff like that. If you just want text as well, you can do it. So the way that can work is in 2 ways. You can layer an image as a text, right? So like imagine you have a logo or something, you can drop it. Like if this is the thing, right? That we want to add in, and this was the logo image or something, you can drag and drop it into the timeline, and you can put it in the bottom or something where it will show up, right? So in this particular case, I want the logo to be above, so I'll put it like so. You see what I did there? I put the logo, the text part to be on top, okay? And then I can obviously resize and move. So I want this text to be in the bottom. I can do that, stuff like that, okay? Now, if you just want the text, you don't want any animation effects like this, that's even easier, right? Obviously. So, to put a logo, you can either put the text animations, or you can even, we have like filters here, right? Like you'll notice, like you see this camera pan, and you see the titles, okay? This is what we put, okay? So let's say, for example, I want to put the title animation. So let's just put the title here. This is the title animation. You can add, right click, edit, and then you can add text, you see? Text. And then if I say, I love you, Dad, or something, right? That was the text you wanted to put. And this one is like in the blank screen. So I'll put the text color as white, like so. Okay, save. And then you'll have like, okay, didn't save, I guess. So anyway, so you see this right here. I'm trying to change this font. I'll make it 3D, and then I will like make it green or something visible, and then do that. Okay, so you can play around with it, obviously, right? You can brush effect here and stuff like that. I gotta double check like why this thing is not changing the color. I'll get back to that one next. So sometimes what happens is these things become janky. Like so in the scenario. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't put the choose button. So there we go. Live streams, hey? See this choose button I forgot to put. I just went straight to save. Okay, so let's do that choose button. So all right, now let's click on choose. There we go. Perfect. I'll just delete this one because this one was like kind of there. Remove element. I'll remove that. Remove element. Yes, there. We have this. I love you, dad. Click save. Now, at any point in the sequence, you can put that in here. The only thing I would suggest is because it says layer 2, it's going to be behind the video, correct? So you want to make it above the video, and you can do it two ways, like you can say add track below, add track on top. You can do that, add track on top. So because I have this empty track here, I can put that in there on the top, meaning it'll come first, right? Above everything. So like a layer, right? So top layer. There we go. There we go. You see? I love you, that. That text will come like so. So now if you want to edit it further, you want to resize it, right click and resize element, and then you can put it like so. Okay. Hope that answered your question. Okay. Pretty much. Okay. So you have that flexibility for sure. All right. So now let's move to the next thing, right? Um, Absolutely. Yeah, your workflow will be 4000x now. I agree with you. Okay. So now let's talk about the next element here. Okay. So let's talk about the realistic. So if you go back to this page, videoexpress.ai/workflow, that is the one where you have these free workflows. It's free. You don't have to buy it or anything. Just it works really well with VideoExpress. We optimize it to work with VideoExpress, right? So let's go that right now. You're going to come into a page that looks something like this. Okay. Remember, we did this stuff so far. Okay, we did the idea to 3D thing. We finished that. So let's put a checkbox to ourselves, pat ourselves in the back. Okay, we did this checkbox there, and then now we're gonna do is go scroll down, and we want this second thing. Okay, so the second thing is basically idea to realistic custom talking video. Sorry, and this one right here, and effectively it's the same thing. One is a Google Gemini system prompt slash GPT that you can automate and give their ideas, or the other one is basically where it's a chat GPT. Okay, same logic applies. You just come into that page that you see in the bottom there, right? And then you're going to click on start chat button that you see there, okay, on that page for this idea, and click start. Then it's going to move into your chat GPT thing, and it's going to open this up right here. See, idea to realistic short film, VideoExpress AI, create realistic cinematic, blah, 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 right? And then you can come in here, and then you can come in and you can give your ideas here. Okay, now let me show you what we're trying to achieve here, and then I'll kind of walk you through how to go about creating something like that. Cool? Because it's more important you see what we're trying to create before we do it, right? So let me kind of show you that, and then you'll see what I'm trying to explain to you. All right, so let me pull this up. All right. So this is the video I'm trying to create, okay? So I'll play this.
AI for everyone.
Corporations have to make a profit for their investors.
VideoExpress version 3 is built for customers, not your greedy investor.
With VideoExpress, you can make action videos of yourself like this in seconds.
You can place yourself in any scene with insane accuracy.
You can shoot professional studio quality videos by just describing it in a prompt.
Create big budget films of yourself while sitting in your pajamas at home.
With VideoExpress AI, you can make any idea become a reality with you as the main character.
All right. So let me explain this a little bit, what I did here, including that VideoExpress logo you saw on the top. Okay. How do we add all of them into one picture? Okay. So first of all, let's split this thing into sequences. Okay. So sequence number one is right there you see on the screen. Two people are arguing in an elevator, correct? So person one, which is the guy with the mustache, and then the person two is the older gentleman here, elderly gentleman. Okay. So they're arguing over something. Okay. And then you come back here. And then next, we change the sequence around 10 seconds mark, where this gentleman is actually speaking and the younger gentleman with the mustache is speaking, a consistent character in the desert. And this is an actual advertising campaign you're running for VideoExpress right now, by the way. Okay. So it was all created within VideoExpress. which is cool. We drink our own Kool-Aid, right? So then this one is the skydiving and jumping with like a selfie shot. So like if you have a phone here, let's say they're holding the phone like so, right? With a selfie shot and doing it. And then you got another sequence where is in the studio to explain that the studio. You'll notice one interesting thing, caveat here. I would say because we started with the desert shot here, I wanted to kind of also put that desert griminess on him. To it just looks nicer, right? To have that consistency. And then I did the same thing here. You see the grimy shot of that same person, the same shirt with like that desert sand on him, kind of thing. And then I changed that here if you notice carefully here, because this was more like an office setting. I wanted to make it feel like a completely different environment. That's another sequence there. And then come back here. This is them driving in the sunset. The idea is that we're, the metaphor here is actually, hey, I'm driving off in the sunset. I'm concluding the day, right? When they finish the video. So we're making them go through an elevator first, then they come into the desert second, they do skydiving here, then they talk here, then they come to the office environment here. I wanted to end it with a shot where it's driving and in the sunset, driving off, kind of to give that feel that, hey, this ends. Now it's your journey, right? To use Video Express kind of thing. So there's some copywriting elements here, of course, that I'll be happy to teach you, but AI does a lot of it. And that's the goal here. Okay. So now let's recreate this thing using Video Express. Okay. So that we can go step by step in the process. Okay. So let's discuss here. Okay. Now, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Step by step. So first of all, let's do this. All right. So that we can walk you through it. And if in the sequences section, by the way, on this particular shot, you'll notice also that if we kind of create the whole flow for this thing, it will kind of explain in a way what we are trying to achieve here, right? Ultimately, we are trying to achieve certain things, the sequencing and stuff like that, right? For this exact video, correct? So that's the goal. Like that's what I'm trying to achieve. And that is what I'm trying to get out of it. Okay. So in a storybook timeline, it'll be the same thing I showed you earlier, right? Where it generates the whole sequencing and stuff like that. Okay. So for this one, because of the fact that I created so many sequences, the way I want you to understand is not try to think of it from a Video Express angle. Think about it like, how do you create, why would you create a realistic shot? What are we trying to do? Are we trying to do an ad campaign? Where we need a consistent character talk about something? Are we trying to create an interesting intro? What are we trying to do? Okay. If you get that starting point ready, then we can kind of give the idea, correct? To recreate the steps. All right. So how I can then do the structure is I'll show you. Okay. And again, I'll show you what I'll do from scratch right now. Okay. Because I wanted to also do a little bit of a different shot, because if I did the exact same video, you're like, okay, well, it only works for this video, right? So let's do that right now. Let me open up my screen. Good. All right. Now let me zoom this in. I'll make myself shorter, smaller, like a little person here. Okay. So we have that GPT that we opened up here, right? So again, coming back to the point, we have this workflow page in there. I'm doing this idea to realistic short film. Okay. Over time, I'll be adding more of it to this page. Okay. I'll be adding more workflows to this page over time. All right. So there we go. We're coming back here like so, right? This is the kind of thing we did in the past. I'm trying to recreate something like this behind the scenes with this. Does that make sense? So that's the idea with a realistic shot. So what I can do here is I can say something like two people are arguing on an elevator, and then we move into a shot. Actually, a shot where the and we'll tell who the two are. Okay. And one person, or we can say I write it actor one. Okay, actor one is a young 35-year-old male with a mustache, and you can say different ethnicities as well, right? So I can even say, for the folks who ask me, is right, 35-year-old Asian Asian male. But I understand that when we do Asian male, automatically the AI will change the accent to Filipino English or Asian English. Okay, just keep that in mind if you do that. So that's why I try to keep it consistent so that you can see my examples and do that. So you can do that, or you can say African American male, You get the point, right? You can just do the same. The concept is the same with a mustache, and there is an older um, white 65-year-old man with a suit and tie, corporate type. Okay, right. So and then um, the the story is about how to break free of corporations holding hostage, let's say in this particular case, compute tokens and GPU servers for their benefit and crushing small businesses like VideoExpress AI, right? Or AI. Um, um, and how they're crushing small businesses like VideoExpress AI, and how Video Express is for everyone and makes it possible for AI to be affordable to everyone. Okay. Right. This is the story, right? And the actor one is also in different sequences to show the power of lip sync in Video Express. I'm just trying it to recreate. You can write a small one, it'll come through it. Okay, just to recreate the whole thing, um, like deserts, beach, uh, movie, studio, film set, etc. Okay, and then I write it. So I'm just trying to write it to recreate it. But if you can think about it, if I just said the story is about how to break free from corporations to make it affordable, everyone, and the actor one is this, and the actor two is this. If I want two people, let's say, right? And the idea is that it's trying to understand all this, right? And so the information you give here, you can even obviously chat here from the voice here and stuff, obviously. But I just wanted to show you my thought process here, how I think about this stuff. You can obviously do it your own way, okay? To come up with each of the sequencing and styling and all that stuff. The reason why I want to show you the African American male with a mustache is just to show you can do it in different races and ethnicities and stuff like that as well, just so that I don't recreate the same thing and you'll say I could recreate it. Okay. So while this is getting created, again, I want to do this in real time because it was like a fast-paced YouTube video. Then what will happen is people just cut it and then move on. And then they'll say you can do it in 5 seconds when it takes some time, right? Let the AI do its thinking. It's trying to create the text prompts. It's trying to create the story. It's trying to create the lip sync prompts. It's trying to create us everything, right? Image prompts, video prompts. It has to do all that work for you, right? So let it think. Don't rush it. If you rush it, it might not do a good job. Okay. So anyway, that's the reason why I like to have it take its time. I don't need to rush it. So now let's come back here in real quick. And then I wanted to kind of show you. So in here in Video Express with the stuff, you can save the project. So if I say an elderly watchmaker story, right? I can save it. And then I can also go in and I can export this video if I'm happy about it. And then you see I have full HD, quality high, and format MP4, and then click create. Okay, and it's going to create, it's going to show you where is it's in the queue process, everything. Okay, it's going to do its thing. And then you're going to see the full final video as well for you to do it. And where that final video will appear in case, again, in case you don't know, is it's going to come up under my videos tab on the top. You see this? It's going to come up here. Okay, on the top section right here. Okay, so let me go back into the sequencing here, and I'll explain to you what we need to do next. So once we've saved this project, we can obviously open this project and it'll open up again. So let's say, for example, we did a new project like so, and I want to open that watchmaker project again, you can do so. It'll open up all the elements. That's the reason why we have everything. And you can come back in and restart the process, right? And one thing I want to also mention here is for our troubleshooting, if something is off, whenever you create an image or video or something, let's go back to the media library here. Anything you do, right? Like let's say you have your videos here. If something is wrong, you can go into details, right? Click that and click details, and you will see obviously the image prompt, video prompt used, but this ID here. You see this bottom part right here that I've highlighted for you? Please make sure that you send this information to our customer support people or our support team at any point in time so we can troubleshoot your steps. This will be the easiest way. This ID tells us everything we need to know, okay? That's also for images, by the way. This is for video. Like I can go into media library again, and I can go to my AI images. And let's say this is a portrait shot. Again, you see details, it'll show me in the bottom. You see this ID. So if something is off, maybe something is not as what you want it to be, give us this idea and we can troubleshoot it in the support. Here's my ID for my image generation, or here's my ID for the video generation, or whatever it ends up becoming, correct? So that's the other thing that we've done as well to simplify your life ultimately, right? In a way. All right. So far, just to recap, while the whole scripting and everything is done for us, let's discuss now a couple of points that makes a lot more sense. We also have this public gallery option here where you can see all my creations are showing. So you'll have those as well to get some ideas and stuff. You can click on information, and then you'll see and then you see all this information here. It's it for the benefit of everybody so they can see how to get the best outputs done. We have our Facebook group as well that does this, right? So now let me show you this. Our script got created for that realistic shot. Let me show you that. And this is how it looks. So let me actually do one cool thing here. Oh, sorry, I got muted there. My bad. So anyway, so if I go back here, I got the ID there. So in live things, sometimes these things go off. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click and take this description and create the character. Okay, cool. So let's do that. And then I'll create the first image right here. Okay. All right. Perfect. There we go. And then let's just go human. And then I'll enhance the prompt as well in this particular case, just for the sake of fun. Okay. There as well. Okay. All right. So there we go. And then let's do that. While it's doing it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, these live streams, sometimes the audio goes off on whatever. So you see this because of the enhanced prompt, it made a mess. See, it tried to create him without any dressing or anything, which I don't like. So what I would do is I'll just take the whole thing and then I will just generate the idea here. See this? Confident posture. And then I can probably do this. And then I'll say wearing a suit or something. Okay. Just for the sake of it. See, this is the thing with AI, eh? You gotta be careful. All right. So there we go. So now I'm just gonna have him wear a suit or a tie or something else like that. And then did vertical. I also do landscape for the same thing. Okay. So this can be character one. So while this is getting created, let's go back to character two. So I can save this, let's say, and then we go back to, look at this, suit, because of consistency, wants to make sure it's exactly the same. And then suit and this one is good. This is perfect. You see, that's why we do two images. This one is perfect for me. It did a zoom in shot of his face. He has a goatee here, his eyes, eyebrows, everything, right? So anyway, so we save this, okay? Or you can even save image in the bottom, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the second character to save. okay, which was the person here. All right, so let's do here. All right, let's do that. All right, so this one, okay? Description, older male, white male, blah, 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 right? Corporate stiffness. I'll also make him wear a suit, okay? And I'm not doing consistent character because I'm generating the second character, remember, okay? So corporate stiffness, wearing a blue shirt and pinstripe suit, okay? And then I can create image, okay? And then if there's a beard or whatever, you can put clean shave or whatever. I mean, obviously, up to you on how you want to structure it. But once it generates the image, you see this? This is okay to me. I feel fine. I click save. And then this one. So now we have two of them, right? Actor 1, Actor 2 saved. So what you could do next is we go back to the scripting of the realistic shot, correct? So if I go back there in this particular segment, let me open that up one more time. Here, idea to realistic, right? So come back here. So 0 to 6 seconds here, as you can see. You have the realistic time text to image prompt area. So let's just do that. Let's just go in here and generate that first frame, okay, image, okay? So what we will do is click on consistent character, okay? Follow along, okay? 2 consistent characters, right? Follow this section. Consistent character 1, consistent character 2. So let's just go there and then click on reference photo. Under my AI images folder, you're going to see the consistent characters, correct? So gentleman 1, see this is the actor 1, our African-American character. And then we're going to have our character number 2, and then this one right here, okay? So there we go. And then we have 2 people now, right? So if, for example, the storyline is having that, we're going to just paste this. So what is happening here? Realistic cinematic shot, African-American man, and then there's also beside Conrad, whatever, okay? And then there, okay? So now what we can do is I'm not going to do enhancing of the prompt because it already has all this information. I'm going to click on create image. So it's going to create as an image of both these people in an environment that we want, okay? So in this particular case, it's going to be in the elevator or something, right? And while this is being created, let's go back here real quick. Okay, there we go. We have both of them here. Image 1 and image 2. See? So if you want them facing each other, you can tell that prompt too, by the way. Okay. That's the thing where a little bit of human creativity comes into play, correct? So we can say here, I'll show you here. Okay. So I'll just try this to this section here. Somewhere down here, I can say, okay, both are staring at each other from a side angle, right? And I can generate again. So if you want both of them to, be side by side with each other, facing each other, you can definitely do that as well. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I see this question. Can you guys hear me? Gals, hear me? Okay. Let me know. Sometimes, these things, people can't hear me. Let me know. All right. So, all right. Okay, cool. All right. So now, the main thing that I wanted to mention here is while this side-by-side shots are created. Okay, great. You can hear me. Okay, awesome. Maybe these folks joined in like when that delay happened, right? The lag. All right. So you see them, both of them are facing each other, correct? See how I changed the prompt? Some manual work is required to get what we want sometimes, okay? If you don't, it's okay too. AI can do 99% of the work for us, right? So anyway, here we come back. All right. And then we generate the video, right? So if I go back here into the ChatGPT thing, see image to video prompt, if I come back here, right? This is what we are trying to achieve, right? So image to video prompt right here. So I'll just go in here, open this thing, okay? Animate this sequence, blah, blah, blah. And then Conrad says access is limited for a reason, you see? And then click on this and come back. I'm going to paste that here, okay? There, right there. And I'm going to do what I told you before. Number 1, advanced mode. Select that. There we go. And then it says automatically enhance my video prompt. I'm going to uncheck. All right. I'm going to uncheck that because my prompt already is pretty good, right? And I wanted to follow exactly what ChatGPT tells me. Now, because of that, it'll automatically adjust the length. Okay. So click create video. And then now you'll see that video is being created. So while that is being created, let's just do more, okay? And then we'll go to the next shot, okay? So the next shot is basically both of them are again in that other frame, let's say, and let's say they're discussing. One of the things I noticed from VideoExpress customers and users in our Facebook group and stuff like that is one of the main things was that a lot of the times people are trying to extend the same sequence, which makes it boring. Does that make sense? Like you try to put more text into it. So for example, ChatGPT is telling me right now, here, right? You see this? What ChatGPT is telling me is in this particular sequence. Okay, let's go to the second sequence here. Let's go back here. Actually, this one was the 3D. Let me open the realistic one. If I open that up, let me pull this up 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So what ChatGPT is telling me is that, what's happening in the sequence is 0 to 6 to 14 challenges the idea small creators should wait permission and that sort of thing, right? So they're still in the elevator, right? And so what I suggest is to generate the scene, okay? Even though they're still in the elevator. One of the mistakes I've seen people do is they try to put the same voice in the same image, and it sometimes looks weird. And there's not much excitement happening. So that's the reason why I suggest just go in here and just generate the second image as well, even though they're in the same location, same sequence, just because it looks a little bit interesting, okay? Let's just generate. This is going to be the image number 2 for scene number 2, okay? Basically, okay. All right, that's clear. And the other question I'm seeing, I'll explain this in the end, okay? The feature first frame, last frame, we're rolling it out in all accounts. So, and make sure that you have the all access account, okay, to have access to that feature, not the basic account, right? For first frame, last frame. You see now, this is what I was trying to tell you. Let's look at it, right? If I animated just this scene and then did the other speech, it just cuts, goes in the same scene, looks boring. And this is the mistake I've seen a lot of the videos in the Facebook group. Don't do this. Always generate another sequence, even if it's a zoom in shot like this. Totally fine, right? Even if it's a zoom in shot like this, because it just gives it a little bit extra effect to it, right? And it's gonna give you a little bit more excitement. So now here, right, we can take this, and then I can paste this now. And then again, we can go back here and then right click and paste this thing, and then click advanced mode. All that stuff stays the same, and then it'll automatically adjust the speech and everything, okay? So let's create the video right now. Now, let's go back into the other sequence now. Let's say we don't want the second character to be in there. We only want the African-American male, the main character, right? This man with a goatee or French beard, whatever you want to say. Okay, so I can cut this because in the script, if you go here, okay, here, I will show you. In the script, if you cut here, it says, right, Conrad Defense, and on and on and on and on it goes. And then movie studio sequence demonstrates, right, professional commercial use. See, it does that in the next step. So now you can go in here and then you can say, right, right here, it's going to be movie studio still right now. Let's go and paste that in here and then come back here and then click create. So it's one consistent character. That's why I only have one. You don't want to confuse the AI by putting two and then just say one person is in the scene, right? It's going to get a little bit confusing for the AI. So there we go. We have him here. And then we have two images, right? I have this or I have this. I personally like this a little bit more because the lighting and stuff looks amazing. So I can use that, and then I'll delete this, and then I'll come back here, and then I'll again paste the script here, okay? So then right click, copy. And then I'm going to paste this part right here. So he's saying pitch video, training video, promo video, blah, 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 right? And then I'm going to advanced mode again, not do anything else, okay? And then I'll click on create video, okay? All right, there we go. And then that is done as well. And then there we go, okay? I'll get back to the first frame, last frame thing. Just relax, okay? It just refresh the screen and stuff. I'll get to that in just a second. We're rolling it out on all accounts as we go live right now. So because I didn't mention how to use it yet, right? So anyway, so once this video is done, you will see the two videos here, you see it? So video number 1.
Access is limited for a reason.
Okay, let's say that's the video. And then we want to do that. And then there's another video.
That reason looks a lot like your quarterly bonus.
Yeah, there we go. So it's interesting, right? Makes it exciting. And then we have the close-up shot being created right now. And you get the point now, right? So I got the clips and merging it together. One thing that is exciting about what we do is, you see here, watch. Just staring at the screen, doing nothing here. Okay, the scene, watch.
Access is limited for a reason.
And there's a text here. Oh, this is one thing I want to mention. Okay, cool. So you see this? Sometimes it does the subtitle thing, which I don't like. So what you can do is, if this occurs to you, right click, and then you see fix video. All right, you can do this fix quality thing. Okay, fix quality, and then click it. Sometimes that's gonna basically fix this small blemishes like this. Okay, if you see, so it's gonna regenerate that video, and then it's gonna basically fix the quality of that video. I'll get to that. I'll show you how that's gonna appear in a bit. But you can do that across. Okay, and there's also another one called fix video. And then you see it says fix physics. This is when, like, if somebody's walking backwards or there's some other issue like that, just make sure that you can, make sure that you click on the fix physics button. Okay, so just make sure that you do that. All right. So, okay. So now you see this, right? So we have that generation of the AI video is completed. So if at any point, like, watch, I'll show you one thing here. Okay. So if you come back here, okay, you see this third video got created, and this one is the fixed quality thing we did, right? So now click on this. Let's see how this one plays out. And you see this. Let's play this.
Pitch video, training video, product demo, same face, same voice.
See there? It got cut off a little bit, right? Same face, same voice. In this case, what you want to do, make sure, okay, advanced mode, automatically enhance my prompt is removed. And if you want, you can go to manual video slider and even increase it up to 10 seconds. This is another option in case, even with this, because sometimes, you see this, animate this image, this might cause the issue, right? So if I can remove that, I'll update the GPT to remove some of these janky things. It does sometimes. It's automatic for you after. So you can do this, manually increase it as well. So then what it's going to do is it's going to make it 10 seconds no matter what. So some things like that, if it's occurring multiple times, you can fix it, okay? And let me do that, okay? And this happens with all applications, by the way, right? So the other thing is you're going to be charging your credits for that. We don't. So that's one good thing. All right, anyway. So let's see here. The other video is getting created with we're going to fix this subtitles thing, okay? This issue that we saw, that's not supposed to happen. Probably because ChatGPT, when it created the prompt, it said put some text in there or something like that, in some way where this AI understood it that way. It's okay, happens. Nothing going to be perfect every single time. So the fixed quality thing should fix that. Okay, 99% of the time. All right. So that is how I did the workflow. You see. So if I go back into this sequence, let's just go here real quick, and I'll show you. Let me open this up right here. Right here, right? So we have all the story and blah, blah, blah. It does it up until 1 minute, 7 seconds. Then there's a closing joke in the elevator and stuff. You see what the beauty here is, okay? You can really do whatever you want to do with this AI. You can even come back in and prompt it and say, you see it's 1 minute, 10 seconds. I want to make it 55 seconds long and not, and perfectly fit YouTube shorts length or something like that, right? To make it go viral, right? And it's going to auto adjust it. That's the beauty of putting it into the GPT, because it understands the context of the whole thing, right? So now it's going to make sure it's going to make it 55 seconds long and not that 1 minute, 7 seconds we saw down here, okay? That's the idea why we are doing what we're doing here throughout the process. Does that make sense? And there we go. Let's see here, that fixed quality thing.
Access is limited for
there we
a
go.
reason.
You see this? Access is limited for a reason. That is the prompt issue. So we can come back here. Let's do that. Let's go to redesign. This happens if the prompt was not correctly aligned. Okay. So here, let's see what the issue is. So we have this, keep character identity, and then camera slowly pushes in. Okay. We can do this. Camera slowly pushes in. Tiny shoulder, Conrad the older corporate man. And then we can say, in older corporate man in navy suit says, and then we'll remove the quotes. Okay. Animate natural lip sync. We don't have to do all this stuff. So we can adjust that. Eye focus, blinking, blah, blah, blah. We don't need it. And it says no subtitles. Sometimes with AI, this is the issue I see. When you say no subtitles, it's going to put subtitles. No text, it's going to put text because it doesn't understand. So we want to remove this, okay, completely. Okay, it should not be there. All right, so now let's create this because I want to show you guys what happens in gals. Okay, so with this stuff. Okay, now let's see here. Let's say if I want to make it 8 seconds or whatever, it doesn't matter. And let's just run another one without this. Let's see. I'll remove the automatic enhance prompt. All right. So you see what happens, right? With AI, keep these little things in mind. And with this GPT thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it now, I'm going to put it in my own system. I'm going to fix this such that I'm going to remove this. So for your internal purposes, what you would say in here is like, you'll give it instructions, right? Like, so what I would do, I'll tell you, and I'll fix it for you so it doesn't happen again and again. With this AI stuff, it happens quite a bit sometimes. All right. There we go. Say, I do not want you to include in the image to video prompts. I do not want you to include that animate that thing, right? For 8 seconds. That's crazy. Which was the other part it did, right? So let me see if it's working. There we go.
Access is limited for a reason. Animate lip sync exactly.
There we go. And it says animate lips exactly. See that? So the AI tool, we should say clearly, only say what I want you to say, right? So go to details. This is the beauty here. This is why I love these trainings, so I can explain to you what's happening behind the scenes, right? So it says access is limited for a reason, animate lips, it says. So we got to end this for the quotes, see? And then animate natural lips and all that, that's fine. Breath pause, slight head movement, is all good, okay? So we can end the discussion here. You see, access is limited for a reason. So keep these little details in mind, okay? I know it sounds kind of weird, so I'll fix this as well, okay? So that that GPT doesn't create all this nonsensical stuff sometimes. All right, so because I want to do real time, right? So and then what we will do is it says, let me show you. Yeah, this is the other variation. So you see, I'm learning through the process of doing, not just theory, right? This is what's happening across the board with AI tools right now, where people just do stuff and then it never really works when you try it yourself, because there's these janky things you got to figure out. Anyway, so what I'll do is these things, what it's doing, if you look at it, the other thing as well that it was doing is that animate this or something it was saying, right? So let's remove that as well. I'll show you. So this one as well, I don't want to do it, okay? Not needed. Image to video, it can understand, our system can understand it, right? Do not want you to include this, and I'll fix this stuff. So by next time when you use this stuff tomorrow or something, it's not going to do all this stuff, okay? All right, so that's the basic idea of this workflow, right? If you get the point, right? How we're trying to use the advantage in our favor of the chat GPT thing to create the scenes, okay? And once we go in here, let me show you here, 1 second, as we go along. All right. So there we go. So now you see here, if I'm trying to get these outputs in how I want it, I can do it right. So you see, and then if I like it, I can bring anything here. So if I want to fix this stuff, this access limited thing, I delete it and come back here. I'm going to put this better version here. You see, and then I'm going to play that. You see, this is how you can fix stuff, where you can delete stuff in this timeline like so, and you know, and do this, and then you can end this like so.
Same face, same voice.
There we go. Okay. So this is the idea. So now you see we did realistic. Now once you're done, you can export it. You get the point. One thing I wanted to mention though, is one thing you'll notice, and I wanted to show you that in the previous steps. If I undo this, I'll show you. Okay. I'll show you this step. You see here, up here, exactly at this step. Watch. Even in the older video.
For a reason.
This is what I meant by editing it. Okay. So from here, so if we go in here, let me show you here, this one right here, right? Watch this part, this little part, especially towards this part right here. Okay, this part where I highlighted it to this part where the second scene adds up, right? So if I zoom in even more, let's zoom in as much as we can here. Hopefully it works. I think I can do as much. Yeah. So if we go in here, so this little part I want to crop out because they're just staring at each other. Let me show you. Watch. Not doing anything. Not exciting, right? So how we can make it exciting is crop it as soon as that happens, right? So let's say this is the clip I wanted to use. I don't want to, but let me show you. I crop this by selecting this red slider like so. Okay. It's red slider. I'm going to make it like so. And then I'm going to basically, you see the scissor icon here? Let me show you. This one right here, I can cut it. Okay. By clicking that. Okay. So that's the basic idea of cropping. Cut. See this? Now it's going to make it exciting. Watch. And there you go. even here, it takes some time for his emotions to come into play. I don't want that. I want to go straight to the point because these days people's attention span is as much as a fish, unfortunately. So, so what we'll do is crop this so the sections come right out of the gate. Okay, and this is exactly what I did in my original video that I shared with you. Okay, so watch this now. And this is some, let's say if there's some extra piece here I want to remove, whatever, I can do it. It's not a big deal. Okay, so and let's see here, cut. Okay, so now let's say we're happy with what we have. Watch this, what happens.
Reason.
That reason looks
See, that reason goes straight. There's no like delaying happening anywhere. And if any piece is not good, you can delete it like so and then bring it in and make it exciting like so.
Pitch video.
Watch this. What's the transition now? Okay,
looks
much
a
better.
lot like your quarterly bonus.
Pitch video, training video, product demo. Same face.
Got the point, right? So how we're trying to do it across the board and adding it in the timeline and basically making it exciting. When you're happy, export it, boom, done. Okay, that's the beauty of the editor effectively, beyond anything else. Okay, so now the last thing we mentioned we're gonna do is I want to talk about like the features we added in. So if I go back to the top here, so we added a brand new feature which will be rolling out to your account soon, which is gonna be this, right? Under the create from AI, right? If you have the all access account, create from AI, it's going to be first frame, last frame. Okay. We named it beta here. Okay. So the reason why it is like we want to have you use this stuff a little bit and give us feedback to improve it because it's a really powerful feature, but it works really well in certain cases and not so well in certain cases. I'll explain to you what that means in just a second because you got to know, right? Because when we give you image to video and create from prompt, you give it an image, you can tell the actor to do anything, right? Or character or the animation thing or whatever, right? You can make it do anything. But here, you have a little bit more granular control on what we're trying to do. Okay, is that clear? So the way this works, in a nutshell, I'll kind of give you the more, let's say, granular detail of how this thing works, and then I'll show you what the idea is behind the scenes. Clear? And then what we're trying to do with this feature. And if it's not in your account, just log off and log back in. You should see it in your account. All right. If it's not in your account. And does everybody have it in your account? Let me know in the confirmation chat. Do you see this feature in your thing when you log off and log back in or refresh it or something? Because sometimes caching happens and stuff. Let me know. Then I'll explain to you how this works. It should be in your feature list. Let me know while you're live. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay, great. You see, I have it. Excellent. All right. So now the way we structured this so you folks can understand is effectively, if you think about it, it works like this. Okay. And I'll show you, okay, the idea of so you can understand it a bit better. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay. So let's say we wanted to add, we have an image one, okay, like this, a barista with a coffee. And then we have the image number 2 where we want to end him pouring a coffee, let's say. It's going to generate a video like this. That's the workflow, okay? In a nutshell, this is how it works. Why this is important is sometimes when you do image to video and you say cup, he's holding a cup and he's drinking a cup. The point is like you might want to have exactly the same area in the back end, the background here. You want to have the exact same element here. So then what happens is it's going to give you that output.
Fresh latte.
See this? So it will end in that sequence, okay? So same thing right here. So there's a robot with a flower. So first thing is that it's holding the flower, and then there is this shot with a little bit zoomed in shot. And it'll basically do the same thing. I'll show you how it's done in that.
You're found the load are if to go wind through to a stenner fourth flower. You might get stem for my new flower.
There. So that's the general idea of this. So you can control the environment you're trying to achieve. And it's extremely powerful, specifically for cases like this, okay? Where you have an astronaut, right? And you want the astronaut to plant the American flag, not any flag, let's say, on the moon. So if you just did one image, you cannot control the other image, right? Like if you say she's planting the American flag, It might be where she might be holding it from another direction, or maybe the flag is just flying. It just, you don't have control over it. So this will be the last where it'll end, right? The scene frame will start here and the frame will end here. So it'll be like this. Watch. Check this.
We made it!
See that? And of course, I zoomed in, so it's a little bit off, obviously, but you get the point, right? So it does this stuff, like it can basically control it. So then I will show you how the application works in a nutshell. So that feature, how does it work? It gives you a little bit more control, basically, that an image to video cannot do. Okay, and so the idea is just please understand one important thing on this before I show you this feature in great detail, how this exactly works and stuff, is the following. Make sure that we've done it such a way where you can generate it within the application to simplify this stuff, okay? And we've also said here, as you can see, for best results, better prompt adherence for this, use vertical videos. This is why we named it beta, because we want your feedback. So for vertical, what we found out is that with very bare minimum instructions and stuff, it does amazing job of consistency and the movements and everything. With landscape, it's hit or miss based on our testing for beta testers internally. So you let us know how we can further improve the landscape and stuff. Just want to mention that we are particular about not allowing you to upload for one simple reason. The reason is that unless you know exactly what you're doing, you're not going to get the output, right? I'll give you some examples here so you can see what I mean by that, right? So for example, I'll show you this real quick so you can see it. So in a nutshell, the idea for this feature came about for me personally as well, where I was trying to get like the exact outcome I wanted, and I was having trouble getting it, you know, every single time. So that's where I came with this, okay? So I have these examples here, I'll show you, all right? So for example, so let's say the image here is image number 1 is this, right? And this is all created from VideoExpress. I'll just show you. Where there's barren land, right? So there's nothing here, okay? And then I put a house, right? Like so, right? Like a real estate example, right? And I want to add in the output.
When it's before and after transformation of the empty land to a fully constructed luxury house.
You see that? So that's one use case. And then the other use case, okay? And the other use case is this. So the idea is that I put an orange juice glass here, okay? And then I want this person to come in, and then I want him to sit down, okay? So meaning he's not in the scene, right? I want him to sit down, say orange juice is healthy for you or something like that, and then put the orange juice down, right? So here's the example, okay?
Orange juice in the morning is so refreshing.
You see that example there? Because the problem with AI sometimes, right, is that if I just gave it this image, let's say from create from prompt, and I said, okay, a man is coming in, sitting down and drinking the orange juice, it has to know which man. It has to know from which direction is he coming from, right? And then is it this chair or one of the other chairs in the background? Just too confusing for AI. So just this gives a little bit more control over what actions that person can do, and if you're very clear about what you wanted to achieve, correct? And then the other one is the other example I'll show you, which is pretty cool, is this one. So first one is, this is the hand of the person. And then the second one is holding a popcorn thing, right? In second stage, okay? And so watch this. So I want him to like kind of suck the popcorn thing, right? Like almost like Spider-Man. You see that? So the effect, it can be maintained. One of the problems with AI is like, if you just say, hey, this is the popcorn thing, can you make it where you make it fly and come to the hand? You can't do it because the popcorn is already in the hand. How do you eliminate it from the hand and bring it in the table? These AI tools will get confused. So this is another use case, which is perfect, right? For that. And then another one I want to show you is the chef cutting an avocado, right? So the effect I wanted to do here is that a chef is cutting the avocado, which is the first frame. And the second frame is the avocado flies in the air, right? Like so. And it's going to have that animation effect, right? So now watch this.
Man cuts the avocado and it just flies onto the screen.
what's happening. And I can do a faster version too of this based upon my prompt. You see that? It's very powerful in terms of cases for like advertising and stuff where you want to do that exact dish is cutting, that exact environment and stuff like that, right? And then one cute one I'll do because I have my one baby now. So I kind of like this one as watch this one. So it's like, so there's the image of the baby. And then you got the baby, you want him to hug basically a teddy and say, you're my favorite toy, right? And watch what happens.
You are my favorite toy.
So you can control the environment here. You can make that teddy walk or the baby crawl to the teddy. You get the point, right? So you'll end in that frame where the teddy is in this position, okay? So now you got the point, right? So what we mean by that is when we say image 1, image 2, is we say basically the idea is that. So for example, if I say the first frame here is going to be in that case of the orange juice, right? Let's just give you that example, okay? One sec. So we do that orange juice thing is a perfect example of what I'm trying to achieve here, right? So let's say this is the image, right? Okay, this is what I want to generate. So that'll be the first frame, right? That's why you got to think through it 2 ways, okay? So an orange juice that a glass is placed on a table in a restaurant, right? And then, you'll put it photorealistic output because there's no human here. Create first image. And then what you could do is then you can basically generate the last frame of a person holding the orange juice, right? And that's the general idea of the first. It's going to take a little bit while longer to generate because what we're doing behind the scenes in the algorithm compared to the other stuff is we're doing 2 elements here, okay? So element 1 is this orange juice, and then element 2 is that person holding it. So if I go human here, and then I'm going to do the last frame, right? Edit is that bearded, a gray bearded 65-year-old man with a is holding the orange juice glass that is placed on the table, let's say, right? And then we just create last frame. So we're just doing the 2 frames, right? Creating first frame and the last frame in the setup, okay? And then now we get the output that we want, which is the person walks in, sits down and stuff. The problem is that when we try to make users upload it, our beta testers ourselves, they're struggling to basically make consistency behind it. They'll put like a portrait shot, which is not perfect. So what we did behind the scenes, see this, how we did it? It's like perfect, right? It's going to be like where it's the same orange glass. It's the same table, right? Style. And it's like a different, slightly same environment. So now you can say, right? You can say the man sits down and drinks the orange juice and says, orange juice is healthy for you or something, right? And then you can create the video, okay? So the idea is that now you have the orange juice, the object, now you have the person, and then both of them will come together. So that's the idea. And this can work for those examples I shared with you. We'll do more tutorials on this as we go along. We do have, while this is in, I'll show you, we have in the tutorials page on the top, we do have like a tutorial on this first frame, last frame video. And the next week's training and go more in detail on this stuff, on where to apply. Just understand it's one of the tools in your toolbox. It is not the only tool. Very important, okay? Because some cases it works really well. Some cases you don't even need it. You can just do the workflow I showed with you today, okay? So that's the new feature we've added in. The next week training and also in our tutorials page here on the top, we're going to be having a lot more specialized tutorials on that as well, okay? You see this, we have this first frame, last frame use case, so you can do it. And we're improving this even further as we get more feedback. One of the great things about our applications right now is that we can improve it as users are using these platforms, right? So anyway, that's the idea of the first frame, last frame. So while this video is getting created, let's go here and see, because there's some thinking needed for it to do behind the scenes. So the idea is that you can control the environment, right? Even in this particular case, the idea is, so in some cases, right? Like here, this is a perfect example. See, this guy is walking, right? And is moving out of the frame, right? You see this? What if I just put the last frame as this? let's say, right? This is the in 1 second in where he's not walking around. The idea is that you preserve the output. You don't make the person just walk away from the frame. That is the idea behind the first frame, last frame, okay? To ensure like, hey, I'm a stickler for this because I need it in this way. So my first frame will be these two people here. The last frame will be like, let's say as an example, where this is my last frame. So then this person will not walk so much like he's doing right here, It will make sure that it will ensure that that consistency is maintained, okay? That is the reason why we did it more than anything else, okay? Check this. There we go. You see? So that's the basic idea. If you want more control, you can make him drink as the last frame, the juice, and then we can say he says and then he drinks. But this will be the end frame, right? So you see how we did it, where like it starts with it, he comes, he holds it, and then he basically starts talking. So that's the idea behind the first frame, last frame, to control, especially for short films and stuff where you need that, where you're not getting that effect from image to video or text to video prompting or the consistency of the character or whatever, or the clothing. Something is off no matter what you do. It helps you get that control that you want, okay? It's a very difficult problem to solve also because you got to make sure that the fidelity is perfect, right, of the output. So anyhow, it works perfectly for that real estate use case I showed you. It works really good for like certain specific cases like that, okay? In a nutshell, okay? So hopefully, yeah, we've been going on for a couple of hours now. So to make sure that this replay is very interesting for people to come in later, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this short here. What you can do is in the replay section, after when we go to the replay in YouTube, or in our Facebook group and stuff. And I'll leave the link to our Facebook group. And of course, this is the workflow. You're going to get to what we discussed earlier on in the presentation. This is our support email. You can email if there's any support questions. Make sure you give us the ID. So meaning if you go to details, there's an ID for every feature, right? Like this ID thing, give us that for sure to can troubleshoot it. But also make sure you join our Facebook group and can see what other people are doing with this stuff. As I told you, this feature is in beta right now. So the first frame, last frame, because I want to make sure people are using it the right way and the right usage. And then when we get feedback, we'll improve it. Just make sure that it is about making sure the consistency is maintained and the workflow of that person doing something, or that a house comes up in the land, for example, or the baby hugs the teddy bear and you want to make sure it's the same baby and the teddy bear you want, right? That is the reason why it's so powerful. And you can use those consistency images through Artistly, our app, image app. You can do it also from here using the consistent character, and you can get that videos if you want, or the images if you want. But the idea is that it'll always end in the last frame and begin with the first frame. Understand that, okay? As long as you do that, it'll give you that granular control you desire. And after this ends, make sure in the comments section on YouTube, right? Make sure you ask me any questions. I always check the comment section and I answer specific questions there that is pertaining to it, that maybe it's not related to customer support or project, but general question, right? Like, hey, can I do this with this workflow you mentioned? Hey, I'm trying to do this and I'm having this come in. Can you update the GPT a little bit or whatever, right? That we created, okay? So in a nutshell, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this type of training. I know the problem with this type of stuff is it won't have any reach after we do the training. So it kind of sucks in a way that YouTube doesn't help us out in cases like this, where 2 hours is spent to help you step by step. It's not exciting like Mr. Beast videos or something. But because with AI, understand that it takes time to get the output you want, and you want to do it the right way. And the process is moving so quickly nowadays that it's very important that you understand the nuances and the nitty-gritty details of it and the mistakes that could occur and how to fix them. Nobody's doing that, unfortunately. I paid somebody like $10,000 to come and help me set up the workflow, and he had like these big YouTube channels with like a lot of subscribers and everything, talking about this AI stuff. And then I asked him a basic thing like, hey, like I'm seeing this text thing coming up, what is the fix for this thing, right? Like this text is off. He's like, I have no clue. I don't know. When I tested, it didn't happen. And I said, how long did you test it? Like 5 minutes, So there's like, oh, there's this new update for Kling. There's new update for Seed Dance. There's new update for Google VO3. But like, where does it fail? Where does it do well? Nobody's testing that anymore. It's sad, right? So then when you want to fix it, somebody has to do the dirty work, which is you, unfortunately. And I want to avoid that. That's the reason why we do these training series and specifically go in. Because now that you spend this 2 hours, imagine, right? You're set, right? You can start creating the stuff. You can use that workflow to create this stuff. you're good. I answer your questions and stuff. You're confident now, right? You have the ability. You know now that you're capable of doing this going forward, and that's enough with AI. Okay, believe me. And you're going to be ahead of 99% of everybody else out there in this world. And that's what I want to impart upon you. Okay, if anything I can do, that's what I wanted to give you, that confidence in being able to use this stuff. We've solved the hard problem with Video Express, to be honest. Okay, where we removed the credits, we've removed the monthly fees, we removed like this limits and all this stuff out of the picture. You know, you can create videos without fear of credits. And if you mess up, you got to pay more, another about $2 for that 10-second clip. Or if you mess up a little bit and you need to make some changes, you don't have somebody listening to you and adding features in like that first frame, last frame, or whatever. And now you have the confidence. What you really needed was that little bit of automation, a little bit of nudge, and that I've hopefully done for you. And that 2 hours is now worth 200 hours of you watching a bunch of YouTube videos or a bunch of posts from these influencers, which frustratingly enough, time is more valuable than money. So you don't get that actual solution you want, right? And hopefully that is the value here. And we promise not to charge any money on this kind of course level material, which other people are charging now, which is kind of sad, because our real goal is for you to use VideoExpress, get results from it, spread the word and share the word, because we do have an affiliate program where you can generate a commission at videoexpress.ai/affiliates. So you can go and sign up, right? So if that's something of interest to you, that's the goal as well, to spread the word if that's your desire. So you can go in at any time to this page. So it's videoexpress.ai/affiliates. And then you can spread the word and maybe generate a commission as well. We pay people all the time, right? So that's one way we hope to grow out of this stuff. That's the goal. So that because the hard work is VideoExpress, right? So we see we do pay a commission here, about 30% or so you can make per sale, and we do approve instantly. So that's another thing if you wanted to. So if somebody purchases and you gave a simple link, you do it. That's the goal, ultimate goal out of this, not to make some money on courses and stuff, because it's just no value in it for us, where I'd rather spend that time, you know, improving VideoExpress than to charge a bunch of money on courses and stuff, which has no value in the end, because things are changing so fast, right? What I teach you today will be infinitely better next week and on. Okay. So anyway, not to waffle on for too long. Hope you enjoyed this. This is going to be a replay for this one automatically. So make sure you watch it. I'll put chapters in it so you can go step by step into the details. So you don't have to watch the whole thing again. I'll do that right after this live stream ends. And also post comments after the live stream is done. Okay. I'll check every single comment and I'll respond the next week. So make sure that you post them, any question you have, and I'll answer them personally myself. I'm not going to use any AI or anything like that, because I want to make sure I hear your feedback. Okay. While you're working through this, like you have it up, like you told me step 1, do this. I did this. Step 2, do this. I did it. On step 3, something broke. Tell me. Let me know in the chat box, in the comment section of YouTube. Okay, I want to know how I can improve things, and I can even customize the GPT and fix it, which I did tell you, right? I'll fix those 2 issues that were happening as I was working with things. Any other things you want to do, it will be automatically fixed in the workflow step. Okay, so that said, hope you enjoyed this type of training. I'll be doing more of these as time goes on, based on your feedback, and I'll make it better every time. That's the goal. So thank you so much for being here live. Hope it was worth your while. And I'll try to make things a little bit more crisp based on your feedback on this next time around. Focused on specific use cases as well. Okay, so watch out for that. Watch out for our tutorials page as well, where I'll be doing more shorter versions of this, so you don't have to sit 2 hours for it. So you can go straight to the point here. That's the goal in the next week. So watch out for the tutorials page as well. The tutorials page is on the top right here. Okay, so hope that helps. Thanks again. And for those who don't have VideoExpress, okay, you can grab it at videoexpress.ai, of course, that link that you see there, the bottom, you can grab it. But if most of you already do, but if you don't do it, that will help you do this workflow step by step. Okay. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you using it. Looking forward to seeing your comments. And of course, how I can improve this further. Let me know in the comments after this ends. Okay. When you watch the replay and you have the chapters to go through every step. Okay. Thanks again. Take care. And I'll look forward to seeing you enjoying using this application.